Hey guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books, and it is January 21st, 2022, Thursday. It is a Thursday. It's actually an afternoon in my vehicle right now for a variety of reasons I won't go into, but nothing bad or anything. But yeah, I'm making the video in a different location. And today I want to talk about what I talked about yesterday, just a little bit more detail and that sort of thing. So FBA things, when you're starting out in FBA, tools that you might consider paying for, because there's a couple that I didn't mention in the previous video that are important as well, depending on your situation, how you view things, your pocketbook, how much you can spend, that type of thing. There's two others that I want to mention of tools that you can pay for that might help you out. One of them for sure will help you out. The other one can help you out, maybe, depending. So the other two I want to mention, well, before that, I just want to say that, when you're starting out with FBA, reselling FBA, and I'm talking about books and media, but you can do other things. You can do buy things in Walgreens and that type of stuff, or do toys or whatever. But I'm going to talk about books and media. When you're reselling books and potentially other types of media, well, it doesn't matter what you're reselling, but basically, when you're starting out, there's not a lot of expenses to get going with reselling an FBA. The two expenses you absolutely have to put out for are sourcing and inbound shipping. Outside of that, you do not have to spend any money. However, I would say set aside $50 to $100 a month to put towards tools, to test out tools anyway, that will definitely help you, and find the ones that you feel are the most effective for your new FBA reselling business. Everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. So these aren't blanket for sure's. But like I said in the other video yesterday, when I started, I didn't pay for any tools. I didn't even pay for the professional subscription to Amazon until I was selling at least it was either selling at least 40 books, I can't remember, or making $40. I think it was selling that amount, but that number of sales. But once I hit whichever number that was, it's been so long, guys, you'll have to correct me or set me straight with that. Then I switched over to the professional account and was off and running after that. But again, that's a $40 cost right there that you don't need unless you can afford it. But it's not necessary. When they'll charge you $1 a book, 99 cents a book, and each sale, rather, they'll add that on top of the fees, already existing fees. So just build that in, and when you're hitting enough sales, then you can get that that fee knocked off, and you can focus on sending it as much as possible, basically. But when you're starting out, you might have limited funds. That's why you're doing why you're starting reselling on FBA, because you're looking to make more money. But if you do have, if you're in a place where you can't afford all the tools that people talk about, then I highly recommend at least those three I talked about in yesterday's video, and a couple others you might consider. The other one that I was going to mention at the end of yesterday's video, but it just slipped my mind, was getting a subscription to Keepa, which is Keepa. It's Keepa.com, and that allows you to, it's either 17, I think it's 17 flat, $17 to $18 a month. I believe it's 17. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that ties into your scanning software. So Keepa essentially allows you, let's say with books, to look at this, well, any sales rank, but to look at the sales rank for that product and to see where the sales rank is currently where it has been in the last 3 months all the way. Well, you can do 12 months, you can do beyond 12 months, you can do as long as Amazon has been tracking that product. But let's say in the last 12 months is the most important. But of course, it's important to go back a few years as well if you really want to see the patterns for the book or for the item. But it shows you the sales rank history. And what is sales rank? Well, this video is not about that, but I'll just give you a brief synopsis. Sales rank is essentially a way that Amazon enables resellers to see how often a certain item sells. So an example, as a book that is in the thousands has a rank that's always below like 5,000. It means it's selling multiple copies a day. A book that's over 1 million is probably, for a book anyway, means that it's possibly selling a couple a month, anywhere between 1 or 2, maybe 3 a month. If it's over 5 million, then it doesn't sell more than maybe once or twice a year. And anything beyond 5 million is usually not worth it for a book, unless it's unless that one sale a year is selling for a lot of money, kind of a thing. Then I would consider eBay, honestly. But yeah, so CDs are different. If it's a million sales rank for a CD, that thing never sells. Anything over about 150,000 on CDs is a really slow seller. If it's under 100,000, it's a little bit faster, but you probably want to go under 50,000 or so CDs. But anyway, so that's kind of a sales rank. You get an idea of how often something sells. Each category is different for sales rank. The range. Books are different than CDs. They're different than video games, etc. So there are some charts out there that you can find. But whatever you're reselling, that's what Keepa helps you do. So when you're in Scoutly, as an example, or any of the other scanning softwares, they have the ability to click on the screen, to touch the screen, and go immediately to the Keepa graph. It's a graph that shows you not just the sales rank; it shows you other things, how the price, where the price has been, based on used and new copies of an item, and that type of thing. So you can go right to it if you're paying for it. If you're not paying for it, then you can't access that information. It used to be free years ago, but that's another one I would say that's the fourth thing that you fourth most important, or top 4 most important items or tools to use for FBA reselling is also Keepa. So buying a scanner, a software, scanning software, a listing software, and Keepa. If you have all 4 of those, you're basically set. The other one I would mention is repricing software. I don't use repricing software, and I've never used automatic repricing software. I briefly used one that was not automatic, but I just go into Amazon when I do reprice, which is very infrequently, and I can just reprice within Amazon for free. Some people swear by a repricer, especially if you have a large inventory, but there's some downsides to repricing. If anything goes wrong with the software, your prices could go down significantly, and then they would sell for potentially a loss or not making much money, which is not something that happens all the time, but it has happened to people. And it's just, they can be complicated, and you have to learn the rules and all of this stuff. So what I found is, if you buy the right items, and over time you have to figure out what the right items are, it takes time, there's a learning curve, which is why these tools will help you get through that learning curve faster, is if you buy the right products, what I mean by right is ones that sell relatively quickly at the price you set it, and you price it correctly, you won't really need to reprice it. Honestly, I hardly ever reprice, guys. Like maybe randomly a few times a year. And guess what? Every single day I have sales on FBA. Now, would I sell more if I repriced, let's say, once a month or once a week? Maybe. I don't even know if I can say probably, but maybe. For older stuff, probably. Stuff that has been sitting for over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and hasn't sold yet, means that my price is not correct. It's not in the right place, so I should probably lower it. Yeah, for older stuff, probably. But I would just say send in the right things, and you won't have to worry about it too much. So yeah, those are the other 2 things to consider: Keepa and a repricer. But I would say Keepa is the most important of those 2. And if you don't have Keepa, but you have a third-party listing, or a sourcing app, a scouting app like Scoutly, you don't need Keepa. but it does help. So they give you things like, they give you data, the current sales rank and the sales rank for the last, it's either 6 month average, the average sales rank. So the current sales rank and the average sales rank, either for the last 6 months or a year, I'm not sure which one, but for a long time. So you get a really good idea that if the average long-term sales rank for a book is $1 million, but the current rank is 50,000, you know that that book just sold and it's probably not going to sell again for a while. I mean, it could sell another copy in a month, within a month, but it might be weeks. It's not going to be selling all the time. But if a book, the long-term sales rank is 50,000, the current rank is like 5,000, then you know that book is selling often, probably every day. And there's other thing that it gives you is a number of how many sales there have been in the last 6 months, I believe is what it is for Scoutly. So if it has over if it has like 150 number, then you know it's selling almost every day. If it's lower, if it's like 50 or if it's like 10, then it's not selling that often. And you can gauge, or you can play that number off of how many offers there are as well. But not to get too deep, but yeah. So you don't need Keepa, but it is very helpful. Do you need Keepa before a third-party listing software? I don't think so, but you absolutely need the third-party listing software because you don't want to mess with I'm saying if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Make some money and then pay for these tools. But if you can afford it comfortably and you're okay with doing that, then yes, a third-party listing software like AcceleraList will help you list a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently. And Keepa will help. It's only another $17. So the scanner you bought for $40 in my previous video, but monthly you're paying, let's say $10 for Scoutly, $30 for AcceleraList, that's $40, and another $17, so that's $57. That's not bad to start a business. I'd recommend all of them, but again, just, don't overspend if you don't need to. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I want to say a thumbs up if you like this particular video. Also, I'd love for you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you do subscribe, the videos that I'm making have to do with reselling on Amazon, on eBay, and my local sale. A lot of videos lately have been about that because I've gone weekly instead of monthly. But it's reselling in general for books and media. So also just generally my journey from starting over 7.5 years ago, not ever reselling, and now going from that, just doing a little bit on Amazon FBA, to now doing Amazon FBA, merchant fulfilled, eBay, and my local sale, and in the near future, another bookstore. So it's been a long journey, and I keep growing, and I plan on growing my business even bigger beyond myself as I start to hire people. So if that interests you, please subscribe. Thanks, guys. Take care.